No, doctor, please. My daughter is 15 years old. She will die if she doesn't have a transplant. The voice of Nadia Washington, 45, echoed through the hallway of the Al-Hassan mansion in Beverly Hills at 11:47 p.m. on that Tuesday in November. She trembled with contained despair as she held the phone with hands that had cleaned that house for 12 years. $28,000? I earn $1,200 a month. There's no way. Is there no program, no assistance, nothing? Heavy silence. Then a sob that she tried to stifle by covering her mouth. I understand. I'll get the money. Just don't take her off the list, doctor. Please. In the guest room a few feet away, Tariq Al-Hassan, 28, lay with his eyes closed, pretending to be asleep. But every word stabbed him like a knife. Tariq clenched the silk sheets between his fingers until they turned white. Breathing controlled, motionless, listening to everything. He knew that voice. Nadia always hummed while cleaning, always smiled when she saw him, always treated his family with almost religious respect. 12 years working there. 12 years invisible. And now, thinking she was alone in the dark hallway, she revealed the secret she carried, her daughter dying because of the money the Al-Hassan family wasted on watches. The phone clicked off. Nadia's footsteps dragged down the marble hallway, slower, heavier, defeated. Tariq opened his eyes in the darkness. $28,000. Ridiculous. His father spent more than that on a weekend in Dubai. Tariq was not there by chance. He had returned from New York 3 days earlier to confront Ibrahim Al-Hassan, 58, his father and CEO of Hassan Global Investments, about his mother's inheritance. Yasmin Al-Hassan had died 6 months earlier in an accident on the Pacific Coast Highway, leaving $50 million that Ibrahim controlled as executor. Tariq suspected embezzlement. The argument 3 days ago had been brutal. Ibrahim had denied everything, accused his son of ingratitude, and kicked him out of the office. You don't understand anything about real business. You've always been weak like your mother. Since then, Tariq had decided to remain a silent guest. Observing. Listening. Pretending to sleep when necessary. Gathering evidence that his father was stealing his dead mother's fortune. But tonight, listening to Nadia, he had temporarily forgotten his own war. He got out of bed and walked to the window. The reflection in the glass showed a young man with black hair, a trimmed beard, dark eyes inherited from his mother, wearing a simple sweatshirt. Far from the image of an heir that the tabloids painted. Yasmin had raised him differently. See people, Tariq. Not functions. Nadia is not a cleaning lady. She is Nadia. A woman with a history. His mother had always known the name of every employee, their birthdays, their family problems. Ibrahim did not know the name of the driver who had been working there for 5 years. The kitchen door opened downstairs. Footsteps descended the service staircase. Nadia leaving after midnight. Overtime that didn't cover a kidney transplant. Tariq thought about running after her, offering money. But he hesitated. He knew the pride of people like Nadia. Charity without dignity is humiliation. He needed a plan. He would find out about Destiny, her daughter, about the illness, about options. He needed to do the right thing. But fate sped everything up. Noise exploded downstairs. The front door opened violently. Ibrahim came in shouting on the phone in Arabic mixed with English. I don't care what the bank said. Find a way to cover the margin or we lose everything. He threw a leather briefcase on the floor. Papers scattered. Bad business. Lost money. Crisis. Tariq quietly descended the stairs and stood in the shadows watching. Ibrahim, wearing a crumpled Armani suit, hung up the phone forcefully. He turned. He saw his son. You. Always showing up where you're not wanted, Ibrahim said venomously. Just watching. Business not going well. Tariq replied calmly. Ibrahim laughed without humor. You played entrepreneur with your mother's money. Now you want to judge the man who built an empire. I want to understand why 50 million of my mother's money disappeared. Ibrahim paled for a second, then put his mask back on. That's a matter for lawyers, not an ungrateful son. I don't want money. I want the truth. The truth? Ibrahim approached, his voice low. The truth is that your mother died owing me a loyalty she never gave. The truth is that you are weak, just like her. Dead silence. Tariq clenched his fists, controlling his rage. But he heard something. The back door opening. Nadia had returned. She had forgotten something. She entered the kitchen without seeing the argument in the hall. Ibrahim went upstairs without another word. Tariq stood still. He heard Nadia in the kitchen, picking something up. Then her voice, low, perhaps praying. God, give me strength. I just need strength to get through another day. Something broke inside Tariq. Two people in that house carrying enormous pain. He with stolen truth about his dead mother. Nadia with her dying daughter. He made a decision. He wouldn't confront her directly yet. But he would find out everything. He went back to his room and grabbed his laptop. He searched until dawn. Nadia Washington. Daughter. Transplant. He found everything. Public hospital records, failed fundraising campaigns, posts from friends asking for help. The whole story. Destiny Washington, 15 years old. Acute renal failure. Compatible mother. Surgery, $28,000. Insurance didn't cover it. He looked at photos of Destiny. A smiling black girl with bright eyes, wanting to be a doctor. Same age as Tariq when he lost his mother emotionally after discovering his father was a monster. But Destiny didn't have 6 months. She had weeks, maybe days. And Nadia had nothing but faith and a job that didn't pay enough. Tariq looked around the room. Crystal chandeliers, Italian furniture, art that cost more than Destiny's life. Disgust rose in his throat. He closed his laptop. Tomorrow he would act. But he had to be smart. Ibrahim controlled everything in that house. One wrong move and Nadia could lose her job. Or worse. He needed a strategy. He needed allies. And he needed evidence not only about his mother's stolen inheritance, but about the entire rotten empire his father had built. If you want to know how a son who pretended to be asleep discovered secrets that would destroy an empire, how an invisible cleaning lady became the catalyst for a revolution, and how $28,000 exposed corruption worth millions, subscribe to the channel. Because Tariq and Nadia's story isn't about money. It's about waking up to injustices that happen while we pretend not to see them. Tariq woke up at 6 a.m. with a plan in mind. He waited to hear Ibrahim leave for the office at 7:30 a.m., the black limousine disappearing through the gate. He went down to the kitchen where Nadia was making coffee, her back bent over the sink, her movements slower than usual. "Good morning, Nadia," he said softly so as not to startle her. She turned, quickly wiping her hands on her apron, forcing a smile that didn't reach her puffy eyes. "Good morning, Mr. Tariq. Coffee is almost ready." He sat at the counter, watching her work. "Nadia, how long have you worked here?" 12 years in March, sir. Because your mother hired me when I arrived from Atlanta with no references. It was her kindness." Tariq nodded. "My mother saw people. She liked you." Nadia smiled genuinely this time. "Mrs. Yasmin was an angel. I miss her every day." A comfortable silence fell as Nadia served coffee. Tariq drank, then spoke casually. "Nadia, I need help with a project. I'm investigating my father's company's financial practices." She froze, cup in hand. "Mr. Tariq, I don't know anything about business." "You don't need to know about business. I need you to observe. Write down who visits, what papers my father brings home, conversations you overhear." Nadia shook her head immediately. "I can't spy on my boss. I'd lose my job. My family depends on this salary." Tariq saw an opening. "Family? Do you have children?" She hesitated, then nodded. "One daughter. Destiny. She's 15. How is she?" A simple question that made Nadia break down. Her eyes filled with tears that she tried to hide by turning toward the sink. "She's sick, sir. Very sick." Tariq let the silence hang heavy, then said softly. "I know, Nadia. I heard you on the phone last night. I was pretending to be asleep, but I heard everything." She turned, her face pale with shame and fear. "Sir, I didn't want to bother anyone with my problems. I'll sort it out, I swear. It won't affect my work." Tariq raised his hand. "I'm not worried about your work. I'm worried about Destiny. Kidney failure, right? Does she need a transplant?" Nadia covered her mouth, tears now flowing freely. "How do you know?" "I researched it. I also know that you're a match, that the surgery costs $28,000, and that insurance doesn't cover it. She sat down in the chair, her body shaking. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. Loans, fundraising campaigns, asking family. Nothing works. Tarek took a deep breath. I'll pay. The $28,000. Today. Nadia froze, then shook her head violently. No. I can't accept that. It's too much money. How will I pay you back? I'll never be able to. You won't pay me back. It's a gift. No, it's not. Tarek leaned forward. It's payment. For what I'm going to ask you to do. She wiped her tears, confused. You said you need me to watch your father. Is that what you want in return? Partially. But there's more. I need you to be my eyes and ears in this house. My father stole $50 million from my mother. He used her money to cover losses in the company. I need proof. Nadia turned pale. Did Mr. Ibrahim steal from Mrs. Yasmin? Tarek nodded. And if I can't prove it, he'll get away with it. Worse, he'll continue to use my mother's name for more fraud. Nadia was silent for a long moment. Then she asked, her voice firm. What do you need me to do? First, accept money for Destiny. It's not charity. It's an investment in justice. You help me expose my father, I help your daughter live. She hesitated, an internal struggle visible. Then she held out her hand. I accept. But only because Destiny can't wait. And I'll pay every penny back when I can. Tarek shook her hand. Deal. Now, about the spying. Does my father bring documents home? She nodded. Locked in his office. But I see some things when I clean. Papers on the desk. Computer open sometimes. Tarek took his cell phone and transferred $30,000 to the account Nadia provided, her hands shaking. $2,000 extra for expenses. Schedule the surgery for today. Nadia looked at the confirmation on her cell phone and burst into tears. God bless you, Mr. Tarek. You saved my girl. He touched her shoulder gently. Now let's save my mother's memory. I need you to take pictures of any documents you see in the office. But be careful. If my father suspects anything, you're in danger. She wiped her face, determination replacing fear. I'll do it. For Mrs. Yasmin and for Destiny. Tarek spent the next few days like a ghost. He pretended to be asleep when Ibrahim was home, leaving his room only when his father was away. Nadia began sending photos. Suspicious contracts, transfers to offshore accounts, compromising emails. Each piece building a case against Ibrahim. But on Thursday, something changed. Nadia didn't show up for work. Tarek called, no answer. He tried again. Nothing. Panic began to grow. Had Ibrahim found out? He went to the hospital where Destiny was admitted. He found Nadia in the waiting room, red-eyed but smiling. The surgery was this morning. The doctors say it went perfectly. Destiny will be fine. Tarek felt immense relief. Then why are you crying? Because I was fired. Ibrahim called me this morning. He said he no longer needs my services. Effective immediately. Tarek felt anger explode. Does he know? She shook her head. I don't know. He just said he's cutting costs. But the timing is suspicious. Tarek clenched his fists. Don't worry about money. I'll cover everything while you take care of Destiny. But we've lost access. I can't take pictures anymore. Tarek thought quickly. I have keys to the house. I'll go in at night when he's asleep. Nadia grabbed his arm. It's too dangerous. What if he catches you? He won't. I learned to move silently in that house. That night, Tarek waited until 2 a.m. He entered the house quietly and went to Ibrahim's office. It was locked. He used the master key his mother kept. Inside, he found a safe. He didn't know the combination. He tried dates, Ibrahim's birthday, Yasmin's, his own. Nothing worked. Frustrated, he was about to give up when he noticed a photo on the desk. Yasmin smiling. Date on the back, August 15th, 1985. The day his parents got married. He tried the combination. The safe opened. Inside, he found everything. Documents proving that Ibrahim had embezzled not only Yasmin's inheritance, but millions from investors. A complete Ponzi scheme. He photographed everything with trembling hands. He was about to close the safe when he heard footsteps. Ibrahim. He had woken up. He was coming to the office. Tariq froze. He had nowhere to go. The door was the only way out. He hid behind heavy curtains, controlling his breathing. The door opened. Ibrahim entered and turned on the light. Tariq saw through the crack that his father was on the phone. Yes, I fired the cleaning lady. She was asking too many questions. The voice on the phone replied something. I don't care, Eduardo. If someone starts to suspect, we cut them off. I learned that from my father-in-law. Yasmin never understood business. Good woman, but weak. Just like her son. Eduardo laughed on the other end. At least she's out of the way now. Ibrahim laughed too. Yes. The accident was convenient. Tariq almost shouted. Accident? Mom was murdered? He held his breath, recording everything on his hidden cell phone. Ibrahim continued on the phone, oblivious to his son hiding behind the curtain. Eduardo, relax. The police filed the case as an accident. The brakes failed. Yasmin lost control on the curve. No one is going to investigate again. Pause. Her money is already spread across 12 different accounts. Tariq can suspect all he wants, he won't find anything. Tariq recorded everything, his hands shaking with rage. His mother hadn't died in an accident. She had been murdered. By her own husband. For money. Ibrahim hung up, stood still, staring at the open safe. He froze. Shit. He ran to the safe and checked the documents. Everything seemed to be in place, but he knew. Someone had been there. He turned slowly, his eyes scanning the office. I know you're here. Leave now or it will be worse. Tariq came out from behind the curtain, cell phone in hand, recording still running. Worse than murdering my mother? That's hard to top, Dad. Ibrahim paled, then his face turned red with rage. You don't understand anything. Yasmin was going to leave me. She was going to take half of everything I built. I couldn't allow that. So you killed her. You sabotaged her car brakes. Ibrahim took a step forward. It was her or my empire. I chose survival. You would have done the same. Never. Tariq raised his cell phone. I recorded everything. A full confession. I've already sent it to the cloud, to a lawyer, to a journalist who is investigating financial fraud. Ibrahim laughed, a frightening sound. You think anyone will believe you? I am Ibrahim Al-Hassan. I have judges, politicians, prosecutors in my pocket. You are nobody. Maybe. But Nadia Washington is somebody. She worked here for 12 years. She has credibility. And she'll testify about everything she saw. Ibrahim frowned. The cleaning lady? I fired her today. She was snooping too much. Exactly. The jury will love to hear why you fired a loyal 12-year employee on the same day she got the money to save her daughter. It will look like retaliation. Ibrahim lunged forward and grabbed Tariq by the collar. Give me back those documents now, or I'll finish what I started with your mother. Tariq didn't back down. Too late. The FBI already has copies. A $300 million Ponzi scheme, money laundering, investor fraud. And now murder. It's over, Dad. The office door blew open. 4 federal agents entered, guns drawn. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, you're under arrest for fraud, money laundering, and suspicion of murder. Ibrahim let go of Tariq and raised his hands. This is ridiculous. My lawyer will destroy you. The lead agent, a black woman in her 40s, smiled coldly. Special Agent Michelle Torres, FBI. We have enough evidence for 3 federal charges. Documents from your safe, recordings, witnesses. Cooperation from your partner Eduardo, who is singing everything in exchange for a deal. Ibrahim turned gray. Eduardo betrayed me? Rats abandon sinking ships, Mr. Al-Hassan. He gave everything up. Offshore accounts, bribes to officials, even the mechanic who sabotaged your wife's car brakes. Marcus Rodriguez. He's already confessed in exchange for a reduced sentence. Handcuffs clicked around Ibrahim's wrists. He looked at Tariq with pure hatred. You destroyed your own family. You destroyed it when you killed my mother. Ibrahim was dragged away. Tariq stood in the empty office, trembling with adrenaline. Agent Torres approached him. Your testimony was crucial, Mr. Al-Hassan. And the photos Mrs. Washington provided. Without her, we wouldn't have gotten the warrant. Is she safe? Absolutely. We put her and her daughter in temporary protective custody. Her father had dangerous contacts. Tariq nodded, relieved. How long will he get? With all the charges? Life without parole. Premeditated murder plus federal fraud. He'll never see freedom again. Torres handed him a card. We need you to testify in court. Next month. I'll be there. She left. Tariq walked over to Yasmin's photo on the table. He picked it up carefully and ran his finger over her smiling face. I did it, Mom. Justice has been served. 3 days later, Tariq visited Nadia in the hospital. Destiny was sitting on the bed, pale but smiling. The surgery had been a success. Her mother's kidney was working perfectly. Mr. Tariq. The girl waved. Mom told me everything you did. He sat down on the bedside. Your mother is a real hero. She risked everything to help. Nadia, sitting in the armchair next to her, shook her head. You saved Destiny. I'll never forget that. We saved each other. Tariq handed her an envelope. My mother's inheritance has been released. 50 million. I'm going to use it to create a foundation in her name. To help families like yours. I want you to run it. Nadia's eyes widened. Me? But I have no training. You have something better. You have a heart. And you know the pain of those in need. She took the envelope with trembling hands and opened it. Inside was a contract offering her the position of director, with a salary of $120,000 a year. I can't accept this. You can. And you will. The Yasmin Foundation needs you. Destiny needs to see her mother succeed. Nadia cried and hugged Tariq. God bless you. Destiny applauded from her bed. Mommy's going to be the boss. Everyone laughed. For the first time in months, Tariq felt a weight lift from his shoulders. His mother had been avenged. Ibrahim would pay. Nadia and Destiny would live. Justice had finally triumphed. But something still bothered him. The secret he had overheard while pretending to sleep had saved lives. What if he had never heard it? How many Nadias were there in the world, suffering in silence? How many Destinies were dying while the rich wasted millions? He looked out the hospital window. Outside, the world kept turning. Injustices happening every second. But now he had the power, resources, and purpose to make a difference. 18 months later, the Yasmin Foundation occupied 3 floors of a building in downtown Los Angeles. Nadia Washington, now 47, sat in an office overlooking the city, reviewing proposals. Destiny, 17, was studying pre-med at UCLA on a full scholarship that her mother had created for young transplant recipients. Mom, 20 more requests came in today, Destiny entered with tablets. 3 urgent cases. An 8-year-old needs a heart, a 60-year-old man needs a liver, a 15-year-old teenager needs a cornea. Nadia sighed, picked up the tablet. Let's start with the most critical ones. Knock on the door. Tariq entered, now 30, with a fuller beard and lighter eyes than 18 months ago. How is my favorite team? Destiny ran to hug him. Uncle Tariq. I got an A in biochemistry. Of course you did. You're as brilliant as your mother. Nadia smiled. Did you bring good news? The best. Ibrahim's final trial was today. The judge sentenced him to life without parole plus restitution of $200 million to the victims of the Ponzi scheme. Nadia closed her eyes, relieved. It's finally over. It's over. Eduardo got 20 years. Marcus Rodriguez, the mechanic who sabotaged the brakes, got 15 years. Everyone's paying. Tariq sat down and looked at the reports. How many families did we help this month? 47. 112 this quarter. 500 since we opened. Destiny pointed to the chart. 82% of the transplants were successful. That's better than the national average. Tarek felt pride flood his chest. My mother would be proud. She is, Nadia said softly. Somewhere, she's watching all this. Nadia's phone rang. She answered it, her face changing from neutral to shocked. What? Are you sure? Pause. Yes, of course. We'll be right there. She hung up and looked at Tarek. It was Cedar-Sinai Hospital. Remember the Martinez family? 9-year-old boy waiting for a bone marrow transplant. Lorenzo. Leukemia. We've been funding his treatment for 6 months. They found a compatible donor. The surgery is tomorrow. But the Martinez's insurance doesn't cover post-operative medication. $300,000 over the next 2 years. Tarek didn't hesitate. Go ahead. We'll cover everything. Nadia typed the authorization. Done. I'll call Mrs. Martinez. She made the call and put it on speakerphone. Mrs. Martinez? This is Nadia from the Yasmin Foundation. I have great news. Crying erupted on the other end. Will my baby live? Will my Lorenzo live? He will live, he will grow, he will have a bright future. More crying, then Mr. Martinez's voice. How are we going to pay? We have nothing. Tarek approached the phone. You don't have to pay. It's a gift. Take care of Lorenzo, love him, let him be a child. That's payment enough. Who are you? An angel. No. I'm someone who learned that wealth without purpose is a prison. Someone who had an incredible mother who taught me that we see people, not functions. Someone who almost lost everything before waking up to what really matters. The call ended with more tears of gratitude. Tarek looked at Nadia and Destiny. Do you know what I learned that night I pretended to be asleep? They both shook their heads. I learned that sometimes we need to close our eyes to really hear. To feign unconsciousness to awaken consciousness. I heard Nadia's despair because I stopped making noise in my own life. If I had been awake, conscious, moving, talking, I would have missed that moment. I would never have heard her on the phone. I would never have investigated Ibrahim. I would never have discovered the truth about my mother. Destiny put me in that room that night, pretending to sleep, to wake up to reality. Nadia wiped away tears. You changed our lives. You changed mine. You taught me that heroism doesn't need a cape. Sometimes heroism is a mother working 3 shifts, selling everything she has, keeping faith when the world tells her to give up. You are a hero, Nadia. You always have been. Destiny hugged her mother. Best boss in the world. Best mother in the universe, Tarek added. And the best partner I could ask for. Nadia laughed through her tears. I never imagined that cleaning houses would lead to running a $50 million foundation. I never imagined that pretending to sleep would wake me up to real life. The 3 of them sat in comfortable silence, looking out the window at the illuminated city. Each light represented a story, pain, hope. How many Nadias were working out there? How many destinies were waiting for a miracle? How many Tareks needed to wake up? You know, Tarek broke the silence. I read a study the other day. 45% of American families are one medical emergency away from bankruptcy. 45%. The system is broken. So we keep fixing one family at a time, Nadia replied. Until the world changes. Until the world wakes up, Destiny added. Tarek smiled. Exactly. Until everyone stops pretending they don't see injustice. Until everyone wakes up. He looked at Yasmin's photo on the wall. Thank you, Mom. For teaching me to see. For teaching me that people matter more than profits. For being a light when the world was dark. Nadia touched his shoulder. She's proud. I know she is. Me too. Destiny checked her watch. I have class in an hour. I'm going. She kissed her mother and Tarek. I love you. She ran out, full of the energy that the transplant had given her back. Nadia and Tarek were left alone. Thank you, she said quietly. For that night. For listening. For acting. For saving my daughter. Thank you for saving my spirit. For showing me that real wealth isn't in banks. It's in lives touched, tears dried, hopes restored. You taught me that. They hugged. It wasn't a hug between boss and employee. It was a hug between family partners, survivors who had turned tragedy into triumph. Evening fell over Los Angeles. The city lights began to twinkle. Inside the Yasmin Foundation, work continued. More lives to save. More families to help. More injustices to fight. If this story moved you, if it made you think about the invisible people around you who carry their pain in silence, if it inspired you to wake up to the injustices we pretend not to see, subscribe to the channel. Because the truth is simple, the millionaire's son pretended to be asleep and heard the cleaning lady crying. He could have turned away, ignored her, gone back to sleep for real. But he chose to wake up. He chose to act. He chose to be human. Sometimes, all we need to do is close our eyes to finally see. And when we see, we have a choice: go back to sleep or wake up forever. Tariq woke up. Nadia woke up. Destiny woke up. What about you? Are you still sleeping or ready to see the world as it really is? Choose wisely. Lives depend on it.